Howdy, howdy, Eldritch Buddies. This is Kiwi Calamity, and welcome back to the final part of the Axolotl Aquarium house tutorial. Last time, we had a bit of a day of the domes, finishing up the tower dome, the aquarium entrance dome, and the top dome. And today, my dear buddies, we are going to be focusing on decoration, because it is time to release your little loddles. We're gonna start with filling in the sand to our aquarium entrance, just so it looks a little cooler. And finally, we're going to start adding water to our tunnels. Fill the water all the way to the top, regardless of where you are in the tunnels. Also, when filling in the portions with prismarine slabs, or any slabs for that matter, aim just below the slab so you don't get any weird leaks. Kind of like so. Excuse me while I fix this in the most awkward way possible. Now we're going to fill in all the towers and tunnels, not the tops though. These portions at the very top that have the domes on the towers are going to be filled with air and become practical rooms for your usage. Make space for a trapdoor here. I liked putting mine in the center, which with these dimensions is 3 from the sides on either side and just boop, smack dab in the middle. Again, when placing the trapdoor, make it so it won't make any air bubbles. Axolotl programming is a little dumb. So whenever placing anything that has any risk of air, assume they will find it and assume they will die. And then you don't have any risk of them doing so. But anyway, place the trapdoor from the bottom up, kind of looking up at the floor of the tower. And now we're gonna fill the tower with water. This includes the trapdoor. Just open it, click over on the side, and it should fill with it. Then fill the bottom of your tower with sand. These are going to be like pocket habitats for your little loddles. Give them a quick bone meal treatment for some life. I'll give a better example of decoration at the end with a tour of the original aquarium house, but for now, just keep this stuff in mind. I would recommend you pause the video and fill up the rest of your tunnels and towers. It's gonna be the same process all the way around, with the same tips I've already mentioned. However, I'm going to be skipping on to the next portion, which is decoration. When we come back, we'll be lighting up the tunnels. I liked this pattern of shroom lights and coral. It made the shroom lights look less boring and maybe a little more natural because they're underwater. Decorate the little entrance bubble however you like, intersperse coral for color, and cue me discovering that you could actually put the coral fans on the walls. Like, what? I wish I'd known this when making my test build, because I would have made it just so cool. By the way, the reason I'm using shroom lights next to the doors like this is because A, the water can seem kind of dark and it makes it easier to not get lost, and B, it just looks nice, like a little underwater doormat, okay? Just shush. Just do it if you want it, don't if you don't. That is all. But I just figured it was a good decorative idea. Now we're gonna take a break from the tunnels to make this little farm portion for the center, because otherwise the center of our little build is gonna be so bland. You can fill it in however you wish, with maybe like, I don't know, a market stand, or villagers, or a flower garden, but a farm seemed the most practical to me. And pretty, because once I put the water in these little diagonal patterns, it was just tickled the little goblin that runs the back of my brain and just goes brr. I generally, when making these patterns, tried to leave 2 spaces of dirt, although there were some exceptions. And of course, bring in some fresh fertilizer. things even on either side. Fill the holes, where you'll put the water eventually, with shroom lights. And gosh dang, have we used enough shroom lights to deforest the whole nether yet? Because I mean, we need the light. And I like shroom lights because they're pretty, but jeez. Anyway, fill these little portions with water, and we're going to jump ahead to when I've already done so. Start tilling the earth for crops, and add the crops as well. This is what you should have for this portion. Most of the build by this point should be done, but let's run through a little checklist before we continue on just to make sure you're all caught up. Your tunnels should be filled with water. You should have a farm if you wanted to follow that along, and your floors for your tower top should be air domes. All caught up? Good, let's move on to the part that we care about the most. Releasing the lololol. But wait, don't click off the video yet, because this is important if you don't want them to die. Before you release your axolotls in your game, swim through all of your tunnels. And I mean like the double tap W, swim through each and every single one. Because if you can't swim through them, they can't either, and the build won't work, and it might risk your axolotls. If you find any air pockets, fix them. Then get your baby squishes on in there. You'll see the decoration looks a bit different in this little clip, and I've committed the door sin behind me where there's the dangerous air pocket. This is from the original aquarium build, before I figured out the door issue. Don't worry about it, I just liked the footage better. But now, your lololls can swim freely. So, that's this portion of the tutorial, the final part. But if you're interested in some ideas for more decoration, stick around for a second and I'll show you what I did with the original build. If you're still here, let me show you the test build's decoration. Some of its dimensions are going to be different because, again, this was a test build with me figuring some things out. Now, let's begin. Here we'll find the main entrance to the aquarium, and I spiced it up with a bit of various colors of coral, as well as some kelp. I checkered the path with sea beacons up to the tunnels. Then, if we come to the left and down this tunnel, we will come to the back left pocket habitat. I really grew the kelp up tall to color up the walls, and turned this tower into the enchanting tower. Though it's a bit plain. Carpet helps a bit, but what would you have done? Diving back down, we'll get a closer look at the coral. The bottom, you'll notice, is still bone mealed for seagrass. Hey, I'm swimming here! You're lucky you're cute. Rude little lololls like to shove. How dare? We'll paddle along the coral shroom checkers to the top left tunnel. You'll see I used different coral here. Each tower is actually decorated different as I played with the palettes. The kelp corners are consistent though. I also wish I had known about the coral fans that they could do this, and now you do. Add some nice color though. We won't worry too much about the patterns. We'll breach into the bedroom and you'll see my totally legit netherite armor. We'll set up some mood candles, some barrels for decoration and storage, and some potted plants. We continue our counterclockwise tour to the top right tower. Here's another example for the wall coral. I think I like the pink, purple, and red the best. Surface to see our lovely kitchen with checkered floor, nice potted plants on barrel stands, gilded black stone counters, and black stone plate tops to our many furnaces. I believe the kitchen was my favorite room. What about you guys? I don't know why I'm talking about like this, but I thought it was funny, so we're gonna keep going. And now on to the last tunnel. We'll play with purple coral a bit, seeing any fun patterns we can make on the walls. I personally liked having it go up the back between the kelp, sparingly. last room is a bit of storage. Barrel barriers between chests, some potted mushrooms, and dark blue carpet. Now if we zoom on out to the exterior of the building, you'll see I trimmed the towers with prismarine walls. Again, the shape of these towers was a bit flat. I might have made them a cooler shape somehow, but what's done is done, and I'll learn from it. You'll see I messed with a bit of a trim for the top dome, mostly so mobs wouldn't spawn up there, really. It makes it less dull, but it could have been better, let's be honest. I think the idea was better executed on the smaller domes. And that concludes our tour and the video. Thank you for being patient for this final part. Bonk the bell, like and subscribe to keep the channel alive, and I've got some fun ideas for what to do next, so just wait, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye!